What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is season 14, episode 5. Okay, and what I will say is, I don't know, but like, are y'all bored? It's weird. It's weird because I've seen the way that I'm feeling about Beverly Hills is kind of the way that I've seen a lot of people feel about Potomac, where they were like the first couple of episodes really drew them in, and then after a while it just didn't do it for them. And I think that's where I'm at with Beverly Hills. Like, I was really excited, and then the constant Dorit versus Kyle and now Dorit versus Sutton, like, I don't care anymore. Ugh. I hope it get better. I hope it get better. But let's get into the review. Y'all know sometimes before we get into it, we get a little spicy just a little bit. And I did a mashup spicy corner where I talked about Beverly Hills, Married to Medicine, and Potomac together. It is time stamped, so definitely go to that video. I'll put the thumbnail on the screen. And if you go to the video and look in the comment section, y'all know I try my best to timestamp everything. And I did talk about PK shading Garcelle about what she said in this episode as it pertains to the robbery. And I gave my thoughts there. So definitely check that out. Corner. Let's talk first up about the scheduling. So the next episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills won't premiere until January the 7th. So they're going on Christmas break. So don't go looking for it next week. Then let's talk about Kyle. So Kyle was on Watch What Happens Live on Tuesday night, and they asked her, or Andy asked her, about what Garcelle said about the robbery, and Kyle pretty much said Garcelle was wrong, and that, she wouldn't say anything like that. And it kind of made me be like, ooh, girl, to Garcelle and even Sutton, where I was like, y'all, it kind of seems like y'all trying to pledge your allegiance to Kyle or be cool with her or get to know her more. And she shows y'all every time, for real, for Sutton, that she don't like you, and Garcelle, she'll never give you the energy that you think you're gonna get from her. That at the end of the day, she's always gonna be cool and clicked up with Erica and Dorit. They may be fighting now, but they are friends, and y'all are just associates. Cause the way she distanced herself from that situation like that, I said, ooh, she didn't even try to be like, well, I could see because of what everybody was saying. No, she legit was like, no, I've been robbed. I don't think they were faking it. I saw how she felt. So no, I think Garcelle was wrong for that. I said, okay. Next, this was posted by Bravo Snarkside. Mauricio was out in Aspen with a new model. I thought it was the same Nikita girl we saw him with last time, but now he's out with some model named Claudia K. And, TMZ caught them laughing and kikiing. I said, Mauricio said, Kyle gonna live her best life with Morgan, and I'm gonna live my best life with these gang of models, okay? I still look good. They still want me. And I got the coin. I said, okay, Mauricio. And this was posted on the 18th. It says that Dorit is set to file for divorce any day now from PK. Now, do I think she gonna do it? I don't know. I didn't think Ashley was ever gonna divorce Michael, but hey, she filed the paperwork, so I guess it's coming for PK and Dorit. And I think this is last. So I also don't have this isn't last. I also don't have the audio for this one, but I wanted to talk about the after show. So Bose is really clocking in on the after show, and even in her confessionals while the show was going on. But I did wonder, like, she's so loyal right now to Dorit. I wonder if that will change come the next season that she's on. Like, will Dorit do something, or will she see something in Dorit or decide like, okay, I don't need to be this loyal to her? Or will Dorit show up the same way for her if something ever happens that's scandalous in Bose's past or happens on the show? I don't know. But the way that she was on that after show and she was clocking Sutton, I was like, ooh, girl, you really riding for Miss Dorit. And the last thing I want to talk about is Dorit. Dorit is truly feeling herself. Y'all got Dorit feeling her zhuzh, because she was on her Insta story posting everybody's memes about how she clocked Camille. And I said, look, she's having a great season. And the girls are going up for her. So I wonder, I truly wonder if it's going to continue or if the tide's going to change. But let's get into this review. Talk about this episode. So the episode opens up, and we actually have this really nice scene of Garcelle looking at the movie that she created with her production company, and they show where it says executive producer and her name, and she gets really emotional, and she was like, dang, I wish my mom was here. And I felt for her. I do believe there's an afterlife, so I definitely feel like those that really you had a strong tie to are always around you. So I do believe her mom is seeing her and is probably happy in this moment. But that is the downside of when you lose people, is that when there are special moments in your life, they're not there to truly celebrate with you. They might celebrate with you in spirit, but they're not there in that moment. And that's bittersweet. But congrats to her. So we settle on this scene at Jennifer Tilly's house. We find out that Jennifer truly is loaded. Lady is loaded with money, okay? She got 4 homes, one in Las Vegas. We find out that she is a professional gambler, and her boyfriend either lives in Las Vegas or her and her boyfriend commute back and forth to Las Vegas from where they live in Beverly Hills. She got a house in Malibu, but the place is haunted, so they don't go there. I said, girl, if you don't go get a priest or a spiritualist and have them exorcise the demons out your house, because what you mean you paying for a house you don't go to? And then the house that we've been seeing her in is not really like her main house. She actually has 2 homes next to each other, and the house that we've been seeing Jennifer filming is her play house. Like, this is the house where she hosts guests and parties. I said, girl, to have that kind of wealth where you can have 2 homes beside each other and one be like the house, a whole entire house be like your guest house where you entertain people, that's a flex. That with a pool and everything, that's a flex, okay? So we see Kyle get to Jennifer Tilly's place first. Kyle sees the Tiffany, the Bride of Chucky's doll, and she's instantly uncomfortable. I would be too. I do not like baby dolls. I don't. They make me so, like, ugh. I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like them. I will never forget when my friends forced me to go see Annabelle, and I was so irritated. I was so uncomfortable the whole entire time watching that movie. I just don't like them. I don't. But we find out that she got on a $4,500 custom dress made by Gaultier. I said, girl, what? And Kyle was like, oh, I think I have that dress. I said, money, okay. So then we see Kyle pull up. We find out that, not Kyle Sutton, we find out that Kyle is throwing like a diamonds and rodeo or a diamonds and jeans party, basically a cowboy theme party, and everybody is invited. It's the first party that she's throwing without Mauricio. Sutton is like, it might feel liberating to not throw a party with him being a part of it. They show a flashback of her during 2019 where they were trying to figure out what was going on with like certain things at the party, and Mauricio figured it out, and she was like, oh, thank you, and they had a cute moment. So they also talk about what happened at Ocean View, and everybody's pretty much tired. Like, I guess they were doing things like every day, or filming was taking a very long time. But they talk about the argument that happened at the table. Jennifer Tilly brings up that, and she was like, that was a lot. Like, and I think Jennifer was like, do you really feel where Dorit was coming from, or do y'all feel like y'all have gotten somewhere? And Kyle's like, yes, I feel like we're in a better place. But then she looks at Sutton and is like, but now you and her aren't in a better place. And Sutton is just like, yeah, I'm not. She was like, I don't got beef with Dorit. I just feel like she wasn't hearing me when I was trying to like bring this like sisterhood moment together. I just felt like she made it about her when it wasn't about her. It was about all of us, and she just didn't get it. So they continue the conversation, and Sutton ends up saying that like she's not mad at Dorit and she doesn't have a problem having a conversation with her. But, and then when she's about to continue talking, Jennifer Tilly's like cuckoo clock goes off, and she was like, girl, it's from Cher. And I guess it was very long because Sutton rolled her eyes and she looked so irritated, and I was just like, well, it is what it is now. Next scene we have is of Erica going to Dorit's house. We see them in the kitchen talking about how tired they are from the trip. And then we find out that Dorit and PK haven't spoken in 2 weeks. And I said, dang, like he really said, girl, we're not going to be talking anymore. And he meant that. I said, you not checking up on your kids? Okay. So they end up leaving the kitchen and going to sit by the pool. We find out that the 2 of them really like Bose. They like how blunt she is, how fabulous she is. We find out that when they got back from their Oceanside or Ocean View trip, she got on a plane and took her daughter to Brazil for her 15th birthday. Later on in the episode, we find out that Bose forces her daughter to do like a PowerPoint presentation in order to like advocate for where she wants to go for her birthday. And I thought that was such a black mom thing, because when I got my first tattoo, and I was like 18 when I got it, I had to write an essay as to why I wanted to get this tattoo and what it meant to me and how I would feel in 5 years and all this. So it's just like, that's something I feel like a black parent would do. And I cackled. I said, black moms, we see them. Okay. So I thought that was really sweet. We see Bose and Erica do a flashback where Erica's telling Bose, like, don't water yourself down, be yourself, be blunt, and all of that stuff. So then we get this scene of them talking about Kyle, and Dorit feels like Kyle and her are moving into a better direction because they kind of laid everything out on the table. So then they start talking about Sutton. Erica has a feeling, like, a problem with Sutton. She feels like, Sutton, how dare she like call me out on the bus when, like, I said what everybody else was thinking. I had the balls enough to mention it to Kyle about us feeling like you weren't saying everything correctly. But I was like, that's to me a cop out, because you didn't say it to Dorit. You didn't check her or bring it up to her in that moment. So what balls do you really have? You know what I mean? And so Dorit feels like Sutton is pretty much fake. Like, one minute you want to like help me, the next minute you playing in my face. Like, you playing in my face and basically being mean and nasty towards me. But that's who Sutton is. And I wish Sutton, and we'll talk about that when we get to the Western party, will realize that these women do not like you. Like, you're trying to be friends with people that genuinely, like, they don't like you. And if you would just focus on the people that do like you, like Garcelle, and maybe even Bose to a certain extent, but I don't know, because the way that Bose be checking or like shading Sutton in the I won't say in the confessionals, but kind of in the confessionals, but more so on the after show, I guess all Sutton has is Garcelle. The thing we see is Sutton and Avi going to Garcelle's house with a U-Haul to help her like pack a U-Haul to drive to her newly freshly renovated beach house. So we see Avi. Avi is looking good. Sutton said he on that Ozempic, and he looked good on that Ozempic, okay? And we see her pull up with that U-Haul. I was like, girl, I'd have been stressed letting Sutton drive a U-Haul. But it takes them like an hour and 20 minutes. Sutton was telling Garcelle, girl, you might need to get a helicopter because this a lot. So we get to the house. It's actually really nice. I don't get why people were shading it on Twitter, talking about it's an Airbnb. I mean, okay, it's still a nice house, even if you think it's an Airbnb. Now, she is a little bit of ways from the beach, but not that far, like maybe a 4 or 5 minute drive, because when they did on the balcony where her and Sutton were hanging out, they panned out and the beach was definitely in the back and the road leading to it was right behind her place. But it's really nice. I'm glad we got to see it to like the end, like its fruition. Like, she tore it down in 2022 and now it's 2024 and we're seeing it and it looks nice. I never knew you could have a 3-tier bunk bed and they're queen size beds. I said, that's nice. Very nice. Sutton ends up getting emotional in the confessional where she's just like, I'm just thinking about Garcelle and Haiti. Now, some people were like, why she had to sprinkle the Haiti on it? But I don't know. I feel like it's true. She was from Haiti, but I could see how some people felt uncomfortable by that comment. But I think Sutton's feelings were genuine about feeling emotional, being just like, wow, like you really did it. Like, this is inspiring that you took on this feat. So I like it. I like their friendship. I like Sutton and them being friends. So I giggled when they were like shooed Avi away to like go do whatever he wanted to do. And he was sitting on the porch, leaning back, drinking himself a drink, scrolling on the internet. I said, that's the type of job I would want. Okay. Sitting back, drinking me a nice little refreshing alcoholic beverage and scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter, or BlueSky. But they're sitting on the balcony, and Sutton and Garcelle start talking about the conversations that they had separately with Kyle and Dorit. So Sutton is saying how, she talked to Dorit, and she said, I told Dorit, like, I'll be there for you, whenever you need. Like, I'll help you financially by helping you get like getting a lawyer, setting you up with the right people, because she was like, the shoe's gonna drop and the shoe is PK and I'm trying to, help out any way that I can. I told you Sutton is the queen of divorces. Okay. And she was like, I'm not mad at Dorit, but I just feel like she wasn't hearing me. So then Garcelle talks about the robbery, she was just like, yeah, it seems like a lot of stuff is going on with Dorit. And she was like, I thought about the robbery. Like, even when I brought up the whole jewelry thing, I never thought that she didn't like that she was in on the robbery. I just feel like she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. And if we're gonna be honest, everybody felt that way, including myself. I always said I'm gonna err on the side that actually happened to Dorit, but in the back of my mind, I always felt like, girl, either PK set you up or you knew about it to a certain extent. I just feel like the chain of events was weird. Like, after you get robbed, you immediately go film with Kyle and Garcelle and Mauricio and all of them. And I get it, you want to be surrounded by friends, but like, I don't know. It was a weird chain of events. And then PK goes directly there. And I'm like, you don't have your kids with you. And then them not telling their kids that they got robbed is kind of weird to me too. When I'm just kind of like, they lived there. It's the whole thing was weird. But I do think Garcelle bringing this up was like, it feels like you're picking. Like, I wouldn't bring it up. I mean, I would have it in the back of my mind, but I wouldn't bring it up, especially when we don't have evidence of Dorit even mentioning Garcelle's name or really coming at her. Honestly, Dorit has been paying Garcelle dust, and Garcelle is the one that looks pressed like a panini because she keeps mentioning her when she's not to be mentioned, like they're not mentioning you. So we move on from that scene and we have Erica and her therapist. Now, I need to know how big Erica's house is because I don't understand why she got glam in her kitchen. Like, didn't she turn another room into a closet? So I'm like, you couldn't put that in the closet. Why is it in the kitchen? How big is the house? Is the house only like 2 bedrooms? I think it is only 2 bedrooms. But shouts out to Erica. She's reprising her role on Broadway for Chicago. I said that's going to give her some money. Maybe she can save it and move into a 3-bedroom house. And then you could have one room as like an office and glam, the other room a guest room, or you turn it into a closet and more space. Because I don't understand why that's in your kitchen. I don't. But she sits down with the therapist and, she talks about Sutton. She says that Sutton triggers her, and they bring up how she was like, Sutton is the type of person that gets insecure when she's feeling left out. And they show a montage of when she got into it during 2021, 2020, when they did the whole thing with Thunder Down Under. She was just like, Sutton triggers me. And she was like, I hate that she triggers me. And then she brings up how they had the pizza party for Kyle. And she was like, I didn't get a pizza party. And I was so glad that her therapist called her out and was like, girl, that's because your divorce wasn't clean. Like, you became the villain. The earrings, then you were medicating with like pills and alcohol. You weren't very nice. And then they showed that flashback, and when she was like, she was like, or what? Or what? Or what? And Sutton was like, nothing. She said, that's what I thought. So shut the fuck up. Okay, you weren't nice to Sutton. So why would you think that she would do anything for you? And you negate the fact that Sutton, out of everybody, when things were happening to you, offered to give you a loan. She gave you a care basket. She also offered to help you get a lawyer. So she was there for you. You just didn't receive the help. And was it somewhat intrusive when Sutton was asking all those questions about your divorce and everything and what was going on with the lawsuits? Yes, but Sutton wasn't the only one. Dorit was asking, Kyle, Lisa Rinna, Crystal, like everybody was asking questions about that situation. But even Garcelle, but you honing in on Sutton. What it feels like is you're bothered that Sutton was able to have, like, to get the money that you thought you was going to get if you ever divorced Tom. Because Sutton is sitting pretty and you living in a 2-bedroom house with your glam being in the kitchen. So it's time for Kyle's party. So we see Camille Grammer get there first. I thought her jean dress was actually really cute. I think out of everybody's outfit, I like Kyle's the most. The whole black cowgirl with the black cowboy hat, the leather top. Like, I would have wore something like that, okay? Like, and she had fringe. I think she looked good. Everybody else's outfit, I was like, all right, cute, but you ain't eat the way I thought you was gonna eat. But while Kyle and Camille are talking, Camille is trying to check up on Kyle and see where she's at. She says, how are you? She was like, yeah, this is my first party without Mauricio. She's like, yeah, I know. They be going through midlife crisis with young girls, and they flash back to when Mauricio was on the slopes with Anita when they were trying to play Anita, because I got a few Anita songs in my I'm learning Spanish, but don't they try to play Anita like she was just some random girl. Okay, Anita could sing. Okay, so Boys Don't Cry is my song. Dude, I'm about to listen to this when I get off of that. But yeah, and Kyle ends up taking kind of offense to what Camille is saying, being like, yes, has Mauricio done things that like I don't like or that don't make me happy, but it could be worse and it ain't that bad. Basically saying, girl, my man is not Kelsey Grammer. What you went through, I ain't going through. So let's not. So we see everybody pull up. We see Sutton brought Porter. We see I thought Dorit's outfit was cute. I just didn't like that the zipper was around her butt. I think it was trying to go for the illusion of like chaps, but I was like, girl, you might as well should just wear chaps, you know. I would have just wore chaps. I hated Erica's outfit. I don't know what Erica was trying to go for. But Dorit basically says she wants to have a good time for this 1 hour where she doesn't have to worry about her life. And we see Kathy. We see Bose. I thought Bose's outfit was all right. I feel like I wish she would have had a different cowboy hat to match it. And then we see, I think it was Jennifer Tilly, Porter, and Sutton taking pictures, and she has on this like gun necklace that was actually like really cute, and everyone was complimenting on her, and she said in her confessional, I'm not the person to talk to when it comes to like wearing outfits, because I got a lot of nice pieces, I make a lot of money, and if I want to wear my jewelry and my like, you know, $400 outfit to go get coffee, that's what I'm gonna do. She said, life too short. And I said, okay, Jennifer, I see you. So then we get this cute moment between Dorit and Bose where they kind of have like that black girl moment where they're like, ooh, like, you know, just checking in with each other. Cause it's like, I feel like people want them to beef so badly on Twitter and on BlueSky. And I'm just like, it seems like they actually like each other and respect one another. And they had a cute moment because we find out that Garcelle's going to get a tattoo because they have a tattoo artist there. And Bose was thinking about getting a tattoo, but she didn't know really what she wanted. And Garcelle said, why not get badass bitch? Okay, because that's what you are. And they was like, she was like, ooh, girl, let me not. So it was cute. So we end up seeing Garcelle, Sutton, and Kathy inside the house, and Garcelle is getting her tattoo done. She's getting Angel's numbers 1111, but twice. And you know, Kathy's like, you know, those are angel numbers, and she was like, yeah, I know. And then Sutton said something about like, oh my gosh, you a 4, that's a devil number. And they're like, no, it's not. 666 is the devil number. But I think Sutton is right, because I think in the Asian like community, like 4 is seen as like a bad luck number. I think it is 4. I think 4 is like the way that it's written is close to like bad luck. I don't know. If I find something about it, I'll put it on the screen. But I do think 4 in some Asian communities, maybe the whole Asian community, is referenced as a bad number or an unlucky number. So I kind of think Sutton was right. So while they're sitting there, Garcelle's like, ooh, I got to tell you something. And Sutton's like, what, girl? And she was like, Kyle told me while we was on the boat that she still texts and talks to PK. And Sutton is like, for real? And she's like, yeah. But then Sutton tries to like have Kyle's back and defends her and be like, well, I think Dorit knows that they still talk to each other. And Kyle and Dorit haven't spoken in months. So I think right now she's closer to PK than Dorit. And I think Sutton was coming from the standpoint of like, well, if the 4 of them were all friends, meaning Mauricio, Kyle, Sutton, meaning Mauricio, PK, Dorit, and Kyle, then why is it a bad thing that she's talking to him? But I also understand where Garcelle's coming from, where it's like, girl, I separated from that man. You don't speak to him. You more my friend than his friend. And I'd be pissed. And Garcelle even said in her confessional, like, honestly, if I was Dorit, I would want Kyle to stop talking to him. Like, I'm no longer cool with him. We're getting a divorce. You need to be respecting my wishes, okay? And I don't disagree. So we see her get the tattoo. I think she got it like right here. It was a cute, simple tattoo. We see them dancing, Kyle on the mechanical bull having a good time. We then get this scene of Bose, Dorit, and Erica sitting down talking, you know, checking in on each other, trying to figure out where everybody's at. And Bose is like, should we be having this conversation? Should we bring in the group, since we're supposed to be having like this tribal council kind of situation going on? And we see that while they were on the sprinter, that they do a flashback where Garcelle ends up telling Bose, we kind of felt left out when you and Dorit were having y'all conversation at the end of the table, and I feel like we should be speaking amongst each other. And Bose says, I feel like wanting everyone to talk at the same time is an admirable thing to do, but when these women get together, it's very much, we never talking about what's the issue at hand or what's going on. It just causes fighting. Everyone just starts fighting. And she said, let me not say everyone, they start fighting, and we don't get anywhere. So then all of a sudden, I think they call over everybody. So everybody comes and sits down and they're in a little group together. And I was actually surprised to see Camille, but Camille says she's going to get her screen time. And so she sits down and Sutton ends up being like, I need to say something. And everybody's like, oh, Lord, here we go. And she was like, when I was trying to talk to everybody about having this like sisterhood moment and really us coming together, I feel like it wasn't received well. I feel like you guys weren't hearing me. And then we see Erica in her confessional being like, I'm so sick of these speeches that she has. Like, I just been waiting to tell her to shut up, basically. Erica basically interjects while Sutton is speaking. And she was like, I love that for you, pretty much. That was the energy. And then she was basically like, girl, you're volatile. You're a volatile person. And Sutton is like, whoa, like, And then you have Jennifer Tilly in her confessional being like, I think she was supposed to mean it as a compliment, but it was backhanded, but it does describe Sutton. Now, a lot of people online were saying that they don't feel like Jennifer Tilly would have co-signed that. They feel like maybe it was a mashup of something else. I don't know. But next thing you know, it's 2 against 1 because Dorit chimes in and now Sutton, I feel like, got real defensive and they just start mimicking each other back and forth. And Sutton starts to raise her voice a little bit. And then not Garcelle, but Dorit is like, I'm not gonna talk to you with raising my voice. Like, I'm not in the moment for that, for you to be raising your voice at me. And so then Sutton is like, you want me to talk softer? So then Sutton tries to start talking softer. They start going back and forth. And then Dorit starts mimicking what Sutton is saying. It was a mess. It was such a mess. And it was just like, this is really stupid. This is stupid. It's stupid. But in all honesty, when Dorit said that Sutton is the one that should be leading the charge of this sisterhood, she's right. I don't think none of them should be. I don't think Bose can do it because right now Bose is really on the Dorit train. Erica don't really like Sutton. Dorit don't really like Sutton. Kyle don't really like Sutton. Garcelle don't see it for Dorit. So you can't really have a sisterhood where one person really doesn't like each other. Well, Dorit don't like Garcelle either. Kathy is just there, just to be there. And then Jennifer Tilly is just rainbows and butterflies and whatever. Kyle, we don't need gaslighting, manipulating Kyle. None of them could really lead the charge of being a sisterhood unless they got a therapist. They can't. And I just wish that, like, I don't know. I just wish that Sutton would just understand that they just don't like you and you're trying to make them like you and they never will see that for you. I also think it's weird that everyone's trying to like rewrite history about how nasty the women were towards Sutton, and now that she's being nasty too, she's just this horrible person and she goes low. When I'm like, all of them go low. Last season, they tried to insinuate that Sutton was an alcoholic, and the main 2 people was Kyle and Dorit. Crystal had to tell on them to Sutton, And so they're arguing. Sutton ends up saying that she feels like at times Dorit doesn't hear us and she doesn't stop and like just lets people speak. And then Erica's like, girl, it's been 10 years. It's not going to happen. And then Garcelle is like, girl, we know we've been trying to get her to shut up for the past 5 years and she won't do it. So they start arguing back and forth. And then Sutton ends up being like, you know what, Dorit, you're not mad at me. You're mad at your life. And everyone's like, whoa. I didn't think that was that low. I really didn't feel like that was that low. And shouts out to this Twitter user that legit summed up how I felt about the situation. Her name is Closet Whisperer, and she said this: there are multiple truths happening here. Sutton ain't wrong for clocking Dorit excessive anger because of her personal circumstances. Dorit isn't wrong for not tolerating BS anymore, and Bose wasn't wrong for clocking Sutton for weaponizing Dorit's vulnerability against her. That's true. Because then Bose jumps in after Sutton tries to say that I was just trying to say that we can all be transparent, open, and honest with each other and just be open. But Bose ends up being like, well, girl, people don't want to be open if you're going to weaponize that against her. And and Sutton is like, when did I weaponize? And they were like, yeah, you just told her life sucks. And that's why she's angry. That's weaponizing something that she was vulnerable with you. And then I think Sutton wasn't expecting Dorit to take the route of accepting, like, yeah, my life's in shambles and I'm angry and here we are. I think she was waiting for Dorit to come back at her because she ended up being like, you know what, Dorit, I don't really have an issue with you. I don't really have problems with you like that. Like, if you need me, I'll be there, like, if you want me to. And then she says, you know what, son, I want to believe that. And son's like, okay, girl. And she's like, but action speaks louder than words. And then in the confessional, Dorit ends up saying, like, this is who Sutton is. Like, at the end of the day, I think Sutton is more preoccupied by looking like a good person versus being a good person. And to me, that's rich coming from Dorit. Like, I feel like that's rich coming from anybody on this show because we've seen them be nasty to each other. We've seen them go low. But I think right now, again, I feel like what I feel like is because Dorit is coming at Kyle and really sticking it to her, and people have wanted to see Kyle be taken down, and everyone feels like Dorit is carrying the show on her back right now. Anybody that goes against Dorit, you getting railroaded by the people. And Dorit has been on her A game right now. Like, she's really been wrapping the girls up. And I won't say they can't take it, but I don't think they expected it from her because she really wasn't doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? So Camille jumps in and basically tries to, like, defend the group by saying that, like, you weren't very considerate to me when my house burned down and I lost my assistant. And then Dorit ends up being like, Camille, you were a cunt to me, girl. Like, I don't want to hear none of this. And everyone's like, damn. Like, Garcelle was like, damn, girl. Oh, we going out the gate like that? So everyone's kind of shocked. You got Jennifer Tilly being like, and Camille was gagged because she didn't expect that either. And she was just like, you were, like, she was like, no, you called me that. And Dorit said, girl, it was a joke. And they flash back, and it does seem like it was a joke when she was like, Camille, you're a lying effing you know? And they start going back and forth. Dorit ends up being like, Camille, you just want a moment. And that's really what she wanted. She was like, you just wanted a moment. That's all you want. You wanted a moment. And then Camille's like, well, you always want a moment because you're always holding up everybody else taking pictures. And Dorit was like, and I take pictures. I'm still here. What you doing here? What are you really doing here? I mean, and then she starts pointing to Erica. And then she can't remember Erica's name. Like, she was just like, and you. And Erica's looking at her like, Erica. It was such a bad scene for Camille. But Dorit wrapped up, I wouldn't say she wrapped Sutton up, but she definitely wrapped up Camille. She did, because Camille couldn't come back and say anything. I don't know. But I'm wondering if the Dorit train will still continue, like I said, in the spicy corner. Because like I said, online, she feeling herself. She reposting everybody gassing and gagging her up and just being, gagged and impressed by her skills. And I'm just wondering if at any point in the show, is it going to switch? Is it going to do a 180? And I'm also wondering if all of the fights that we saw in the super trailer, like, is it just going to be the first half of the season? Because we saw them arguing back and forth at the table. That was in the trailer, the super trailer. And then next episode that comes out in January, we're going to see them arguing at the disco thing or whatever. And I think that's it. So I'm wondering, like, what else the next, like, episodes are going to be. Like, are we going to jump off of this whole, like, everybody versus Dorit train? Or is it going to stay the course? Because I don't think it is, based off of, like, what's been shown to us. Because I feel like they're showing us everything right now, But yeah, that is it. That is all. And as always, you guys, remember to be bravely authentic. Definitely hop down in the comments below. Share your thoughts. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And subscribe if you like the video. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.